We will have the Secretary of External Affairs.
Thank you.
You will have 90 seconds to introduce yourself and your platform. We will start with Aaron.
All right. Hello, I'm Aaron Kerner. I'm a second-year student here. I'm from Missoula, Montana, small town, western Montana. A lot like Boise, it's a true college town. So I'm running for external affairs, and what I want to do, or what I am capable of doing, is working really well with the community members and working with legislators to better Boise State for everyone. That's a big thing. Is external affairs is kind of like marketing, and you want your university to look the best it can, and you want it to perform to the best ability. And I think if I were elected to this position, I would fulfill that responsibility.
Hi, everyone. I'm Kate Marshall, and I'm running for External Affairs. I want to start out by saying that this past year I've been on the committee for External Affairs, and I've also been Vice President of BSU College Republicans. And because of these two experiences, I've been able to realize that this is the position that I'm the most passionate about. I've made ties with our local legislators, and I think that one of the best things that I can do in this position is to bring to Boise State the outside community resources that its students can use, whether it be internships, job opportunities, or even just discounts at local restaurants. And I also think it's important for this position to help students realize that there is a larger political sphere out there, and I want to bring that to Boise State so that student voting rates can rise. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Emily Larson, and I'm also running for Secretary of External Affairs. A little bit about me: I am part of Greek Life, I'm part of the Honors College, and I am active in ASBSU through the Assembly, First Year Leadership Program, and the External Affairs Committee. Being a part of the External Affairs Committee has been just an awesome experience. I really love it. I'm so committed to it. And some of the things that we've been able to do so far this year is start the Idaho Student Association with voices from students of colleges all over Idaho in order to gain a full student perspective in the Idaho State Legislature. And one of the things that, well, many of the things that I want to do with this position is really be involved in the legislature. Boise isn't as recognized as other schools. For example, U of I, we don't get as much recognition, we don't get as much appreciation as far as finances for students goes, and so I want to bring that more connected with our legislature. And similar to Kate and I are both on the External Affairs Committee, so we have the same similar experiences with that. I would like to also bring in the discount opportunities, kind of change a couple of the things that we're doing right now, work with what's not working and improve that. Also bring in more opportunities as far as internships, scholarships, and job opportunities. So thank you.
If you were elected, what do you see your job description as?
To be elected to this position, I think it is the duty of whoever wins this position to really be involved with the Idaho State Legislature. I think that is going to be the most impactful thing that we do for students. Putting a face to this position is very important, and also representing the voice of the students as basically the entire Executive Council is supposed to do. Listening to the viewpoints, representing the majority, representing the minority, and I think the most important thing overall is to look past necessarily what you believe and to leave it to the students to, that's not the right thing to say, to have the students voice their opinions and you be the representative for them.
I think the job description of this would be working with legislators, like Emily said, and then also going beyond that and working with community members, because it is important to raise funding for students and get everything you can for the students, but this is a college town, and Boise State is the epicenter of Boise. So I think really emphasizing that and working with that gives you the opportunity to expand beyond legislation, because working with alumni, like anyone, vendors, really anyone in this town provides opportunity for growth, and that is what Boise State is doing right now, and I think we will continue to grow. We need to capitalize on that.
So as Secretary of External Affairs, it's your job to be the representative of the students to the community. Now, it's also the same for vice versa. You represent the community to the students. So one of the things that I think needs to happen would be students need to feel that their legislature is representing them in an impactful way. For example, lately we've been having a lot of safety issues with school weapons and people having situations where students aren't feeling safe. Now, I come from a town that is a little rougher than this one, and that's why I like Boise, is because it is a safe town. And as long as our students feel like that, and it's the job of the External Affairs Secretary to promote that within the legislature and represent the students the best they can.
All right, next question. How do you plan to fight cuts to higher education and redirect the budget to students?
Okay, so with budget cuts, that's always a negative connotation, but that is a terrible attitude to have, because budget cuts can also be very good because it promotes a level of just filing out things that aren't important for the students. And as ASBSU, we need to pick things that we want to spend our money on that's good for the students and not just fluff here and fluff there. So budget cuts to higher education, it's ASBSU's job to take those things and make sure that we're doing the best things for the students no matter how much budget we have.
All right, so to fight budget cuts, it's really, really tough. And at some point, you just have to swallow a pill and say, these are going to happen. You want to do everything you can to fight it, but with that, you got to look at the other side, and you want to look at what you have available and where it needs to go. And that, with budget cuts, makes everyone will come together and see what is most important at Boise State University. And things like student organizations are, like, it's really growing here, and those are something you don't want to cut. You know, movies at the spec, everything like that. However, for the students, you want to provide the best education that they can get, regardless of how much money you have. And I think that's what's most important.
Well, obviously this is a very big question because budget cuts really do affect a lot of parts of campus. And I think where you need to start is developing relationships with the people that you need to develop relationships with. And that includes talking to the legislators. It includes talking to our campus representatives and seeing what you can do, how to appropriate things in the right positions, and really having a voice. The Capitol is really, really an important place to be for this position because they're the people that are appropriating funds to our campus, and when we don't have a voice down there, there's not much that can be done. So I think it needs to start before you can really start answering the big question. You need to start working with these people and stating your case, talking to students, seeing what they want, and working from there.
Do you know that ASBSU provides free legal advice to students? If so, why is this important, and should ASBSU continue to fund this service?
I did know that. My GB 202 professor told me that, and he is also like an attorney, so, but he won't represent students. It's just a fun fact. But I think it's really important for that because Boise State has a growing out-of-state student or non-resident population, and knowing the right people in town can be really hard. I mean, it's hard knowing where to find your barber for the next semester. I know I waited like 6 months to get a haircut last year. It looked like a mop. But I think free legal advice should be funded. I mean, it could be cut. I mean, I would have to like look at how much it is used, and that's another big thing is how much use and availability. You don't want to have surplus. And I think the free legal advice just brings a sense of community that you're safe, and even if you mess up one random night, that it's not going to end your time at Boise State, and then there's someone on your side.
Okay, so yes, I was aware. But what comes with that, one of the things that I think is really beneficial about having the free legal services is the fact that students are able to have just one more resource with campus, whether it be through ASBSU or other things. I think one of the issues with it is that many students aren't aware. And I think that's one of the things that we need to improve upon is getting people to be more aware and know that there are so many resources on campus that students don't know about. And I think especially being with external affairs, we're supposed to be promoting things that are on campus. We're supposed to be promoting things that are off campus. And as far as I think one of the steps that we need to take is, one, keep the program because it's so beneficial to students. Legal services are so expensive and a pain, really a pain, if for anyone that would ever have to deal with that. So I think it's important that it's great that we have it, but I think it needs to be worked on as far as getting students to be aware of it and other services on campus.
I did know, and I think it's an amazing opportunity for students, especially with all the other programs we have, like healthcare, the CARE program, all the other things that ASBSU gives to the students. And I also think that it can be a good resource to students. I mean, free legal advice, we all know, isn't always the best advice, but it would really help students, and if they needed to branch out, that's possible too. And I think it's absolutely a good investment. As long as we promote it and the students know they're going to get it, it's definitely worth it.
Next question. What experience do you have in leadership positions, and how will it help you if elected?
Okay. So my past leadership with campus has been through the first-year leadership program. We're currently working with people from HSA to start up University Day, which is an annual event on campus, off of campus and back in high school, because I am a freshman, and so I'm kind of coming into student government here. But back in high school, I spent basically most of my time working. I would go to school full-time, and then I worked part-time. So a lot of my time was dedicated to that. I was the youngest person on my staff there. I was 17 years old, and I was a training manager, trained half the staff. I was promoted rather quickly, and I was instilled with a lot of responsibility that I was so thankful for and really excited to handle. I got a lot of opportunities from that. I was also a yearbook editor, which is kind of a big deal when it comes to working with people's pictures and trying to please a lot of people. It's a very difficult position, just saying, where I would oversee the progress of other people within the program and deal with a lot of emails and a lot of community building. So I am definitely a team player. I love to work with people. I'm good at it. And I also am very good at keeping friendships as friendships and working as keeping working as working relationship. You know, when things need to be done, they need to be done. And you have to put friendship aside sometimes and really get the job done. And I've had a lot of experience with that.
So I want to bring it back to my experience with College Republicans. We have done fundraising events, different events and activities with local legislators, and that really has given me experience on how to talk to elected officials in the government. It has made me realize, like, the whole world of politics and everything that entails. And the second thing is my opportunities with the Miss America program, which, just a little to go into it briefly, when you do a pageant, you have to ask the community to sponsor you and to help you and to raise money for Children's Miracle Network. Now, this has taught me what it's like to go into a community setting and ask for help, and not only ask for help, but do it in a way that makes them look good, which I think branching out to the community and learning how to talk to community leaders is something that Secretary of External Affairs needs to know how to do. Thank you.
Can you repeat the question, please?
What experience do you have in leadership positions, and how will that help you if you are elected?
So going back to high school, I was on the board of the Missoula Education Foundation. It was a student-run board, and we gave grant money to a teacher every month from the 4 high schools, 16 middle schools, and like 20 elementary schools. And I was like on the inaugural board for that for 2 years. And then also I've been team captain on numerous sports teams, and I went to Leadership last year with Ashley in the back. And I think it's not so much like being a leader, it's just knowing when to be someone's friend and when not to be. And I've also done work with Special Olympics, and that's like the definition of that relationship, because you want to be the person's best friend, but you also have to be stern with them, and they can't, like, it's just a crazy time, but the most rewarding thing in the world too. So, and then also currently I'm the manager of this Boise State tennis team. So I work with alumni, I work with boosters, I send emails, I do a lot of office administration for the coach. And it's just something where you have to be self-motivated, and you can't wait for the last minute to get stuff done, especially when it's a collegiate team that's reputation is on the line and everything.
This will be your last question. What does it mean to be a Bronco, and how do you show that? We'll start with.
Okay, so to me, being a Bronco it's like being a family. I mean, we have this amazing football team. I mean, every person here loves football. I know it. We we get together. We have a great Greek community. We have so many clubs and organizations. So it's really like a family. And to be a Bronco, you're part of that. And I think with external affairs, the best thing to do is to help everyone find their niche, because everyone has a place here and everyone can get involved. Thanks.
All right, so what it means to be a Bronco changed for me over the summer. I was an orientation leader, so you can see a lot of really cool stuff with all the incoming students, whether it's non-traditional, traditional, or transfers. And it provides a sense of community, and that's what I love most about Boise State, is that it's a community here, and you can go anywhere, say hello to anyone, and they're going to say hi back. And it really can make or break someone's day, and I think that's amazing. And like working with the tennis team, like if you don't know, they're 3-time Mountain West champs. We've been in it for 3 years. Like these guys are going for a 4-peat. Like it's great. Like I love football, I love basketball, but to do something like that is unreal. And some of those guys are like the most humble people that you'll meet. And I think that's what's part of the Bronco experience, is meeting genuine people that are going to provide for you, or you're going to provide for them, and it's an extension of your family.
I think what it means to be a Bronco is to offer support to one another and kind of circulate that around. I know that when I first came to this campus, I felt it right away. It was just in the air, where you could just tell that this was an awesome place with awesome people. I remember just walking around campus, like it was Dead Week or something when I first toured, and people were just saying, hey, even though it's Dead Week, you know, nobody wants to talk to other people on Dead Week. And so I just think that being a Bronco means that you're offering support to one another, you're cheering your team on, you're cheering your peers on, you're cheering on strangers, and you're really being a team player, essentially.
Thank you. Next.